This is the fastest farming strategy which only needs 7 seconds to complete one attack. Now as you can see, our storage are nearly empty. We still need 30 million gold elixir and 440k dot elixir to fill all of the storage. Let's see how much time will it take to get it done. So now let's the timer. 2 minutes 52, so we complete first attack in 8 seconds. Now let's dive into the second attack. And it's very easy, just spammy dragon at the bottom, at the top, Queen Giant Arrow, Rocket Backpack, get everything in line, and Warden Fireball, King Spiky Bow, and done. 251, 9 seconds is a little bit too slow, we have to go faster. Let's do it again. E-Dragon at the bottom, at the top, Giant Arrow, Rocket Backpack, Earthquake along the way, Fireball, Spiky Bow, and done. 2 minutes 52, so 8 seconds this time, so it's like 8 to 9 seconds on average in each attack. This is much more faster than those common farming meta strategy in the past. The Sneaky Goblin takes around like 30 to 40 seconds. It gets more dudes in each attack, but it's so slow, so don't use it right now. And even Mass Valkyrie strategy, which a lot of class tubers and even pro players such as General X are using, I think is still slower than the E-Dragon. I had tried Mass Valkyrie strategy before, it's around like 10 to 30 seconds in each attack, but it's still lower than the E-Dragons, which only needs around like 8 to 9 seconds. There are two main reasons that the E-Dragon are farming faster than the Falcons. The first reason is that you can deploy the E-Dragon much faster than the Valkyries. In Mass Valkyrie strategy, you got 44 Valkyries in your army camp, too many Falcons. I mean, even you are a high skill player, deploy all your Falcons with 4 fingers, with 4 different directions. It still takes you like 4 to 5 seconds. But for E-Dragon, there are only 11 of them. You can deploy all of the E-Dragon within 2 seconds. I mean, instead of 4 fingers, I only use 2 fingers in all of these E-Dragon attacks. 1 finger on the left, 1 finger on the right, and it's super easy and even faster than farming with the Valkyries. The second reason is that the Falcons cannot go over the walls. The Valkyries are weak against those spaces with so many walls on the outside. While the E-Dragons, they can easily chain the damage into the base, so you got some buildings inside the walls. Even you bring the hero torch on the Warden, try to jump those Valkyries inside the walls, is still slower than the E-Dragon. I mean, first, the Falcons need to walk, and then he needs to jump over the walls, and walk again to the target buildings you need to attack inside the walls. After they do all this, then they start attacking on the buildings inside the walls. But while the E-Dragon chain attack, the chain damage effect instantly onto those buildings inside the walls, so you can take them down right away. And if you think the E-Dragons are walking too slow, the chain damage is too low to take down the buildings inside the walls, then just use a raise spell on this E-Dragon, so they can walk faster and destroy all the buildings along the chain in one shot. Then after talking about those advantages for using the E-Dragons, I would like to share some tips to speed up your farming. Tip number 1, you should always start attacking right away whenever you see the village. You don't have to plan where to drop the heroes or the E-Dragons, that's necessary. It will only waste your time. And most importantly, don't search for the next players when you find the available loots are low, unless you are a pretty lucky guy. But most of the time when you click the next button, the game will give you another poor guy to attack, with no gold and elixir. Only 1% of the lucky guy will search a rich person with 3 million golds and elixir, so I won't recommend you to do that. Actually, not just the legend players. For players in Electro League, Dragon League, or even in Titan League, you can get some decent rewards by just hitting the 50% mark and winning the game. So instead of backing that 1% of luck hoping to search a rich player, maybe you should try to hit faster for more winning hours, which is much more consistent. Tip number 2. You should spray the E-Dragons when you are attacking so that you can get the trash buildings in every direction. If you are placing them all together, then they are being less effective. You will only get trash buildings in one direction, but not all of them. If you have already put the heroes, for example that I used to put the queen and the dragon dude to clear 3 and 9 o'clock, then you don't have to use the E-Dragon on those directions, because it's already blinking by the heroes. But if not, you should spray the E-Dragons on the remaining part of the base where it has no heroes. Tip number 3. Since there are not that many units in E-Dragon deck, you can deploy all the troops, spells, and ability pretty fast in around like 5 or 6 seconds. Then after you deploy everything, don't just wait and do nothing. You can already click on the Seratum button, that red button on the left hand side. Take an eye on the destruction rate on the bottom right side so that you can end the attack as quick as possible whenever you hit the 50% mark. And finally, the tip number 4, you can hit every base faster by creating and standardizing your own farming approach. What I mean is that just see where I am placing those troops. I always deploy half of the E-Dragon on the bottom side, another half on the top side. Then after that, I always drop the raid spell before dropping the heroes, so that the first hit of each E-Dragon will be rage up. Then after the raid spell, I always put the queen and the dragon dude on the left side. I mean, yeah, in most of the base, like maybe 80 or 90% of the base, when you see the base is looking like a square shape, not some weird and random design, you can form the standard which you always follow. In this way, by keep doing the same thing, the speed of deploying troops, spell, and equipment will increase dramatically, and that's because you are getting used to your own farming standards. Only in some very weird base, non-square base layout, I will not use the farming standard. And in most of those weird bases, I get the 1 star in like 10 or 11 seconds. It's still fast, but compared to the standard farming approach, which only takes 8 to 9 seconds, it's still pretty slow. And that's the difference between a standardized and non-standardized approach.
By using the Meta E-Dragon farming strategy with those 4 important tips in mind, you can get the loot more effectively. Look at the timer, it's only around that 8 minutes and we already filled most of the storage. 24 million goals, 27 million elixir, and 305k dark elixir are in the storage. We are not being lucky. We didn't meet the rich guy with 3 million gold and 3 million elixir, and some other players are pretty poor, but even though we are still farming so fast, I guess I can fill the gold and elixir storage in around like 9 minutes, but to do that, we have to hurry up.
Now let's deploy the queen, and we missed the giant arrow. We didn't get good value with the rocket backpack, but even though we still get the space in 10 seconds. Now let's start another attack. Just drop the E-Dragons right away, and then the Rage, Fin, and Dragon durability on one line. Earthquake, Fireball, Spiky Bow, and done in 10 or 11 seconds. That's a little bit too slow. We had to make it faster. Let's start our last attack. And just E-Dragon on the top side, bottom side, Green Giant Arrow, Rocket Backpack, Earthquake, Fireball, and Spike Bill. 2 minutes 53, so we got it done in only 7 seconds. So look at the timer, 9 minutes and 12 seconds. We just filled the storage in 9 minutes. And during this 9 minutes, we completed 34 attacks and collected 28 million gold, 30 million elixir, and 283k elixir. That's a total of 58 million loot in just 9 minutes. If you scale that up to 1 hour,
it will be around 386 million loops per hour. That's pretty crazy, especially since we weren't relying on good luck, just consistent and normal attacks. So that's all for today's video. Hope you learned something and enjoy the farming. Goodbye.